natural disasters of such magnitude and force have never been witnessed by our humanity before. It is like a Cerberus that burst out of the Earth's interior. We have been watching the climate Cerberus when it was just beginning to grow. We're thousands of volunteers of the climate monitoring team of the Creative Society from all over the world, who work 24/7 to collect and analyze huge amounts of data, studying the habits of the climate Cerberus. Even several research institutes can't process that much data. But it can be done by people united by one goal. Watching the Cerberus, we have realized that it has now grown and broken free. It is already tearing apart our planet, destroying our homes, and taking people's lives. And yet, most people are not aware of this threat at all and do not understand what is happening to the climate. But we realize that the climate Cerberus will not stop on its own. To stop it, we must study all its habits. The cost of each of them is the lives of many people. The Cerberus is now many steps ahead of us, and we're only following its trail. We will tell you about the habits we have managed to identify. After watching this video, you won't be able to say that no one has warned you. The Cerberus attacks suddenly and lightning fast when you least expect it.
There was almost no time to react.
Nothing. We couldn't take anything out because the fire was coming, and it was terrible.
There was no access to get out.
Yeah, I had to jump out of the window.
And it was like a movie where the house slides down behind you and you're running for your life. But we have lost home. But we're okay.
On March 28th, people were peacefully walking on the city streets in Georgia. Moments later, they found themselves under the rubble of street structures.
The structure was shaking so much in the wind, I thought it was an earthquake.
Look here, the wind completely tore off the roof of the market, from one end to the other.
In March, the city of Miyakojima, Japan, received more than a month's worth of rainfall within just 1 hour. While you're seeking shelter from the rain, a record amount of water falls on you, and it turns into a flood.
Within 3 to 4 minutes, the water level rose by 2 meters.
It just happened that quickly. Water everywhere.
Within 10 minutes, the whole backyard was a river. It's like two big, huge tsunamis coming through. There was one, and then there was a second one, and it just came through just so quickly and fast.
The Cerberus does not obey rules. The tactics of its attacks are unpredictable. It swaps the 4 seasons. In February 2023, when it was summer in the southern hemisphere, temperature dropped below 0 and the snow fell in Australia and Argentina. While in Europe, summer has arrived in the middle of winter. In Germany alone, 982 heat breakers were broken in just 3 winter days. A few days later, the European heat wave was replaced by an anomalous cold snap. This is happening all over the world. Abnormal heat and cold alternate at a catastrophically fast pace. And that is also the terrifying signature of the Cerberus. It brings chaos to your everyday life. In Africa, in southern Morocco, snow is a rarity. But in February 2023, the inhabitants of several communities were cut off from the outside world after a heavy snowfall. Emergency aid had to be delivered by air. The climate Cerberus is sophisticated and inventive in its attacks. Tropical Cyclone Freddy formed in the Indian Ocean in February 2023. Lasting 35 days, the cyclone traveled an enormous distance of 10,000 kilometers, becoming the most powerful cyclone in the southern hemisphere and the longest lived in world history. On its way, Freddy intensified 7 times, which has never happened before, and its trajectory was anything but a normal cyclone track. It turned around several times and continued its way. Cyclone Freddy left catastrophic devastation and claimed more than 600 human lives in 6 countries. The climate Cerberus never sleeps. It attacks when you're most vulnerable and defenseless. Residents of São Paulo in Brazil went to their bed to the familiar sound of heavy rain. At dawn, a flash flood in multiple landslides buried about 50 houses with sleeping people. The Cerberus knows no mercy. Now, it's already making some really terrible strikes. But this is only the beginning. On the early morning of February 6, 2023, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake destroyed the peaceful sleeping cities in Syria and Turkey. The deadly quake was only the beginning of a terrible catastrophe, followed by the second powerful earthquake of magnitude 7.5 and thousands of aftershocks. It became a tragedy of a global scale that claimed more than 50,000 human lives according to official figures alone.
Don't be scared, sweetheart. Don't be scared.
Friends, we are buried because of the tremor. Mother, are you okay? Mom.
Granny, are you all right?
Is there really no one there? We're completely buried.
After the earthquakes, the affected regions experienced a sharp cold snap and a snowfall, followed by a severe flooding. The Cerberus is becoming more aggressive, and catastrophes of such magnitude as in Syria and Turkey will occur more and more frequently. The Cerberus appetites are constantly growing. It is devouring more and more territory and taking away our homes. Fires are spreading, millions of hectares are burning, and they're very difficult to extinguish. Floods are covering larger and larger areas. Across Europe, since 2000, there has been a more than 30-fold increase in abnormal rainfall. The Cerberus was weaker before, but now its blows have become more fierce. This year, in Japan and the USA, people died after being trapped in snow in homes and vehicles. Now, even snowfalls have become a deadly threat. Periods of attack last longer. Droughts have become a continuous process that intensifies year by year.
It's March now, and with the snow melting, the water should have been higher than me. But instead, the riverbed is completely dry.
Because there has been a drought here for the whole year, it's not just 3 months, it's a whole year without rain.
If this is happening now, it will be even worse in the summer.
The drought this year was extreme, and given that the previous 2 years also had a drought that dried out the soil, this year, all the soil has dried out.
The waves of merciless heat are becoming longer and arriving sooner. Record-breaking temperatures of 104 Fahrenheit hit India and Pakistan already in February. This has happened in Asia for the first time in history. The Cerberus has many heads, and they are all insatiable. It attacks multiple territories at once, and disasters occur simultaneously. Late February 2023, Tropical Cyclone Freddy is raging in Madagascar and Mozambique. At the same time, there is a major winter storm and a historic tornado outbreak in the USA, and major fires in Australia and Chile. Extreme rains and floods hit Indonesia, Brazil, and 17 other countries, while landslides and mudslides occur in the Philippines, India, and Peru. During this time, the world experienced 5 major earthquakes with magnitudes above 6. And this is not even all of the events. The cataclysms are synchronizing, thereby reinforcing each other. This has never happened before, but now it's happening all the time. The climate service grasping onto one territory does not let go of it. In November 2022, the city of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia was hit by a record rainfall. In 6 hours, more rain fell than in 3 years. The next 5 months brought a whole cascade of natural disasters. Giant hail and snow, sandstorms, storms and tornadoes, torrential rains and floods. For more than 3 months in a row, California, USA, has been hit by bomb cyclones, atmospheric rivers, a powerful earthquake, hundreds of floods and landslides. This is the first time the residents of the states have encountered anything like this. Climate disasters occur in cascades over one area, and each new wave of disasters brings even more destruction and suffering to people. The Cerberus does not distinguish between the rich and the poor. It does not care about nationality or skin color, and there are no countries, nations, or borders for it. It comes to everyone. The worst part is that the more it eats, the bigger it gets. And the more it is going to devour.